In this lesson, we will see how we can apply custom textures that we create in Photoshop to a 3D model based on their UVs. So we'll unwrap the UV in the UV texture editor. We'll take it to Photoshop, paint it, and bring it back. So I'll go ahead and create a cube. Okay, this time I want to have the UV texture editor to be visible in the side so that I can check both the viewport and the UV texture editor at the same time. So I'll choose any one of the layouts from this left side which has got two views. So for example, this one which has got outliner and the perspective view. So I'll change this outliner view to a UV texture editor by going to panels, panel, and UV texture editor. So it shows the UV texture editor here. Instead of opening from window to UV texture editor, it can be viewed here. Now this is the default layout that Maya has created for this cube. Now as long as I'm not modifying the dimensions of this shape, this UV works perfectly well. But as soon as I make any changes here, let's say for example, I will go ahead and apply a checker so that we can see what is actually going on. I'll assign a new material, say Lambert, and go to color attributes, apply a checker. I'll press 6 so that it's visible here. Now you can see that all these cubes have got perfect squares, which is perfect, and especially based on the UV that we have here, this is fine. So even if I create a different texture, it would look or appear nicely. Let's go ahead and create something. I'll take this to Photoshop by going to Image, Create UV, Snapshot. I'll choose Color, and I'll say, I think the rest of the things are same. I'll say Create. So it opens up in Photoshop. I'm going to just apply. I'll delete what I have here. I'll fill it up with some color, and I'm just going to create a simple text. Let's go ahead and create a. Okay, so now this is fine. I'll just go ahead and save this file. Save. I'll go back to Maya, Image, Update. So that shows up nice. Now this would remain the same without any problem. Now as soon as I make a change here, okay, see now the A is being stretched out. Okay, what is actually happening is the UVs here are not being stretched, but only the faces here, or in the 3D space, it is changing. So whatever change we do based on the 3D space, we should also do the change in the 2D space in order to maintain the same proportion of the texture that we are creating. So what I will have to do is manually here, I'll go to UV, I'll select this face, and I'll have to stretch it here. As you can see, when I stretch it here, the A becomes straight. So this change will have to do for the entire UVs depending on what kind of modifications we have done. So any change you do here will require this change to happen in the UV texture editor also. But at the same time, if you do an extrude, for example, the extrude will need huge change. Okay, because these textures that these faces that we have created as extra faces will not be available or will not be visible in the UV texture editor as a face, but instead an entire face is being just shown as a single line. If I select this one also, you can see all these faces, or this entire big faces, are just shown as lines. So we cannot actually create any objects or pictures in Photoshop for this area. So in order to do that, we have to project UVs and make this shapes bigger size or expand it here so that we can paint or draw something in Photoshop. I'll go ahead and undo a couple of steps. I'm going to make this or create this to look like a small house. I'll bring it up. Okay, and now I'll just add an edge loop in the middle. Select one, press up arrow once again. That selects all the edge ring. Now I'll hold shift key, right click, and choose connect components. Now if you have a Maya version that is below 2013, you'll have to do the same thing by going to edit mesh and choose connect components. So that adds up an edge loop in the exact middle. I'll select the top one, top edge, and I'll pull it up. So now that looks something like a house. Now here you can see that we have a big face here, a rectangular face, but this rectangular face is displayed here in the UV texture editor as a perfect square. So it won't work for us. So we'll have to make this look like a rectangle. Now the easiest step to do that is we can do a planar projection on this area. Now before doing the projection, I just want to take us back to the checkerboard so that we can compare the faces with the help of the checker to find out if it is correct or accurate or not. So let me go back to Photoshop. I think I can do a couple of undo to get that checker back. Okay, there we go. I'll go ahead and save this file again, come back to Photoshop Maya and choose image update. That shows up here. That's nice. Now since I pulled this edge up, you can see that I've created some weird results here. I'll have to fix these things. Okay, so since the the two sides are facing the same axis, I can project these two axes at the same time. So let me go ahead and choose create UVs. Let's talk about the first mapping, that is planar mapping or planar projection. I'll click on the options. We have to choose from which axis we want to project. So in this case, I want to project it from Z axis. Now some of you it might be X axis, some of you it might be Y axis. So you have to find out in which plane or which axis projection will give a flat projection on this face. So for this face and this face, it is common that Z axis is the projection axis. So I'll go ahead and click on this Z axis and choose project. So when you do a projection, it will by default put it as a full size. So it takes this entire rectangle shape and it puts it into the full size. Now our job is to right click and choose UV and select all these UVs. So it would select both these faces. You can see that the UVs, these 4 UVs are selected and these 4 UVs are selected. If you miss one selection, then it will be a problem. So keep in mind, you drag the entire space to get the whole UV to select. So now our task is to make these rectangles look square. So let's not make it 100% accurate. We can just do it roughly so that with the next method, I will show you how you can get it accurately. For now, let's try to get it approximately to the view of our eyes. So I'll go ahead and take the scale tool and I'll try to scale it from one axis. You can see that it's becoming more like a perfect square. Okay, and when it becomes perfect square here, you can in the left side you can see that it is actually becoming a perfect rectangle. So basically this length should be equal to this length and this length should be equal to this length proportionally. Doesn't mean that physically to your eyes this is longer and this is shorter, but that's not a problem because we will have to scale it to smaller size in both the directions so that we can lay out the other things also. So let's scale it a bit smaller and we will pull this up to assign a location here. Now keep in mind, this one big box is the area where you'll have to lay out all your UVs for this object. So I'll put this 2 walls up here because I'll just repeat whatever picture I'm going to apply here. I'll apply the same picture on the back side, so I'm putting both of them in the same place. But if you want to have 2 different pictures, one picture here and a different picture here, then you'll have to separate them and give them 2 different space. So for now that's fair enough. It looks like squares, that's good, so I'll leave it there. And now I'm going to choose the top views. So here's the roof. Okay, so we've got 2 sides. We can actually do a projection in z-axis itself, so that both of them will be coinciding with each other, because I'm going to use the same picture that I'm going to use in this side to the other side also. So I'll go ahead and do a z-axis projection, or you can also do a y-axis projection, and then you can pull these bottom two UVs to coincide with this one so that you will have one space. I'll do it from a z-axis. So I'll go to create UVs, make sure that you select these two faces, create UVs, and choose planar mapping. Okay, so I had the z-axis projection already, so it is projected in z-axis. You can see that it fills up the entire space. Let's go ahead and scale it down. I'll have to choose the other tool. I'll have to scale it here. Okay, or I can also go to UV, select all these UVs, and then scale them here. Okay, I'll just pull it like that just to try to get it perfect square. I'll make it a bit bigger so that we can see all these squares. I think I'll have to pull it a bit more. No, push it here. I think that looks like perfect square, something like that. Now just to fill in the space, I will just push this slightly down because it should not affect the previous one that is up there. I'll make it even smaller. That's good enough. Now it is better if you can try to make these boxes and these boxes to be the exact same size, but it is not essential, but if you can make it, it would be nice. So we can check if these are matching up perfectly or not. Okay. Great. Now all I have to do is the front and the back. For the front and the back also I will use the same mapping, or I can also use different mapping because I will put a door. So if you don't want the same door to be visible in the back also, you can do a separate map projection, but I'll do the same projection. So I'm going to choose x-axis this time, create UVs, planar mapping, options. I'll choose x-axis projection, project, so it takes us to the full size. I will go to UV, select all these UVs, and I'll scale them down. I will have to stretch it up a bit. Okay, try to get it to perfect square. I think that looks perfect square. Okay, a bit more, a bit less. Okay, and there's not enough space for me to put it vertically, so what I'll do is I'll try to rotate it. Now there's an easy way to rotate it. You can click on this, it'll rotate based on 45 degrees increments. So I'll just rotate it, click on this twice, so it rotates it horizontal. I'll try to push it down. Okay, still I think there's not enough space. I will try to scale it to even smaller size. Let me see if I can push the other two things a bit up so that I'll get some space here. Now if you select like this, you will accidentally select these also. You can press Control and click and drag to deselect it and move up. Okay, I'll push it slightly more up. Okay, I think there will be enough space. And now you can see that these UVs and the UVs of this object is matching up almost in the same place. So it is very difficult to make this selection. So there is a little shortcut that you can use. You select any one UV and you press Control, right click, and choose to shell. So that would select all the UVs that are connected in that shell. I'll do it again. Select one UV. Okay, now if you select just one UV, if you just click on it, it will select only the one side. You'll see you'll have another side that is hiding. You see, only selected this side, it did not select this side. So you'll have to click and drag, and then Control, right click, and choose to shell. So now it will select both the UVs. I'll just push it slightly up. I think that's good enough. So there's enough space in between all these objects. And now what is left with us is the under area, which we're not going to use. So what I'll do is I'll select one UV here, press Control, right click and choose shell. I'll just push this somewhere to an empty space which we're not going to use. So this is our wall, this is the roof, and this is the front. So with this, our UV layout process is finished. This is also called UV unwrapping. So that means we have unwrapped the 3D space, a 3D object into a 2D space, so that we can take this to Photoshop and we can start to texture paint. Now, the texture paint that we did already, the UV layout would look totally different. So we cannot use the same UV layout, so that we will have to create another Photoshop file. So let's go to Image, create PSD network. I'll choose a different file this time. I'll name this as house UV. Okay, let's say I'll choose the color attribute. I already have a PSD connected to it, but it's okay. It'll replace the old one with a new one. I'll say create. It will open up a new Photoshop file, house UV. As you can see, I've got the new UV layout. I'll just get rid of this checkerboard that I have. I'll just fill it up with a plain color. Okay, now I'll go ahead and put some pictures. I think this looks nice. This is also nice. I'll take this for example. I'll go to view image. Now the easiest way to get it is you can right click on it and say copy image, go to Photoshop, you can paste it here. Okay, so I want to put this wall here. I will scale it to smaller size so that it fits the entire area. Okay, I think that looks good. I'll push it to the right. Now I'll make a duplicate of this. Control J, push it to the right, and I can just blend. I think I'll just keep it there. Okay, I'll do some little blending here. Let me see if I can. I'll take the eraser tool, make the brush size smaller, just do a little blending there. I think that looks good. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, if it is not looking so good, you can also take clone stamp tool, take something from here. It's not visible, so you can just paint it out there. That's good enough. Okay, so that is our wall. I'll put some window on this, so let me take a window. I think this looks like the old window. This looks perfect. I'll take this one, view image, copy image, take it to Photoshop, Control V. I'll make it smaller in size. Okay, put it up there. Think it'll look nice. I'll go ahead and do some little erasing. You can take your own time, do it slowly, it would look nicer. I'm just doing it quickly. You can also try some blending modes which would create a better blending with the background. Okay, I'm doing it faster. Okay, so I'll go ahead and save this file and see how it looks in Maya. I'll open up Maya. Okay, so let's go back, select the object, go to image, click update PSD network. See, you can see, oh, that looks nice. So the wall, both the sides of the walls are good. Okay, so whatever texture we apply there, it would show here. So now let's go ahead and do the rest of the things. The roof, I'll pick up some roof texture, go back, go to the top, roof texture. You pick the one you like. I think this one looks nice. Looks more like old house. You copy image, go back to Photoshop, Control V. I'll put it here. Make a duplicate, Control J, push it to the side. Okay, it's good enough. Let's go ahead and save this file, go back here, go back to Maya, and do update. There you go. So that's our roof. So in both sides it would show nicely, no problem. And finally we'll have to do the front. I'll take the same wall, I'll make a duplicate of the same wall, Control J, I'll bring it up, I'll take it down. This time I'll have to do rotation to it. Let's say Control T. I'll have to rotate it 90 degrees. I can hold Shift key. That would give. One important thing to keep in mind is we have to bring it away from the other UV. So if you have something on the other UV, for example, if I push it here, this area will show in the roof. So you have to be very careful on this. So I'll have to make sure that it is not up there, it is away from it. I can also push it up, something like that. That's good enough. I'll have to make it a bit more taller. I'll just push it up here. That's it. I think a bit more, that's good enough. Fine. So let's press enter. I'll have to bring in a door. Let me see if I can find a door. And something like this will be good enough. This is nice. Okay, so let's say view image. Let's copy this, go to Photoshop, paste it. It'll be big, huge picture. Let's go ahead and scale it down to a smaller size. Okay, and bring it in. Now as you can see, I have put the wall sidewise, so I'll have to rotate it again 90 degrees. I have to make it even smaller. Push it up. That's good enough. I place it nicely. I'll have to do some cuts now. I'll have to remove this side ones that are not needed. Take the eraser tool, push it out, and make sure that it's clean. Okay. You can basically use your Photoshop skills to improve this texture in any way you like. You can adjust the colors, make it more contrast. You can adjust the colors between two pictures to make sure that both of them looks like one object. Instead of erasing it, you can also create it as a mask. put it in a mask. Do the same thing. Let me just save this picture, go back to Maya, and let's click update. There you go. So that way we can texture the entire house from all the sides.